the pill didn't work. So 1 or 2 drops and the nausea went away. And so then she was able to eat. So that I am a witness. It does work.
Welcome to High on Self-Care. I'm your host, Stacey Zeal, yoga teacher, crystal lover, high-functioning stoner, and CEO of MaryZeal.com, a community for stoners who love cannabis and are looking to prioritize their self-care. On this podcast, we'll explore ways that meditation, mindfulness, yoga, and of course, all things weed can help you to elevate your self-care. We'll explore ways to truly value ourselves, use stillness for self-discovery, and cannabis to go higher on our journey. Think of me as your sister stoner who lovingly encourages you to prioritize yourself and reap the benefits of this magical plant. If you're ready to create a life that holds space for your most valuable asset, that's you, by the way, take a deep breath, light your J, and let's dive in. Hey y'all, welcome back to another episode of High on Self-Care. As always, I am your host, Stacey Zeal, and I have 2 fantastic guests here for y'all today this time. So we're going to talk all about Delta-8. I've been hearing Delta-8 lately. We're going to talk about some things with that. And I'm sitting here from a perspective of more of a student, just like y'all are, because I really don't know much about Delta-8. And so I'm excited to have these ladies on and really just talk about their business, their company, and what they do. So without further ado, welcome, Vaniece and Marchelle. How are you today? Welcome to High on Self-Care.
Great. Thanks for having us.
Thanks for being here. I'm so excited for you to be here. So if you wouldn't mind, give us a little bit of background about who you are and tell us about your business, Mana for Your Soul. I love the name, by the way. I would love to know what the name is.
Thank you. Okay, so I'll start. I'm Vaniece Catron, owner of Mana for Your Mind, Body, and Soul. And basically what that name means is it's for cannabis, specifically Delta-8 and CBD. We're actually looking into Delta-10 now as well, but we'll only talk about the Delta-8 and the CBD today. We are an e-commerce business as well as we have a couple of store locations. We will be having vending machines as well nationwide coming in 2022. And yeah, that's it for my intro.
Okay, I'm Marchelle. I am a registered nurse. I've been a nurse for 30 years. So how I came into this is that I have Crohn's. And so my doctor, actually, my GI doctor, way back when, it wasn't even a thought in the medical profession or in the medical domain at all, said there was a study for Crohn's patients, because mine was very hard to manage, for marijuana. So he introduced that to me, and it was way back when, but it was back when it wasn't legal. And I'm a registered nurse. I said, no, my license will be gone if I get that.
Yeah, that's so interesting. I had a nurse come on the podcast, Nurse Erica, come on, and she also mentioned how she was concerned about her license as well. She's an RN, and she started to have her patients talk to her about cannabis, and she kind of was just like, am I allowed to talk to y'all about cannabis? I don't really know. And so, yeah, it's so interesting. So what made you both kind of just get into the space, especially having, your license, kind of having to keep that consideration in mind? What made you want to get into the cannabis space?
Because my Crohn's wasn't managed, and it helps to manage pain for Crohn's patients. It helps to manage the symptoms that go along with it.
Yeah.
So, and I introduced her actually to the Delta-8, as will be with you as well. Because, and the reason I got into it is a company recruited me that manufactures Delta-8. So I had never heard of it. I had no interest. I wasn't using actually any cannabis products prior to this. And my experience is why I started the whole business. My testimonial, which was Delta-8, got rid of my depression, stress, anxiety. I was waking up at night with panic attacks and couldn't figure out why. well, I mean, hello, the world today with all of the COVID and everything else that's going on, it's a wonder. But when I sampled one gummy, 150 milligram gummy, all of that just went away. It was like it just melted all of that off of my mind, as well as soreness and inflammation that I was dealing with. And I was blown away. And so that's why I started to do my research on it. And I actually started selling for the manufacturer before I decided to start my own business to get the word out about this amazing cannabis plant.
Love that.
And you can tell the difference between Delta-8 and I guess what you call Delta-9. Because I sampled one of Vaniece's, it was the owl. And I sampled it, and you can I actually felt the pain go away. You don't get the high with it, but you can actually feel, because I was in pain, you actually felt the pain go away and still have your clarity.
Yeah. And that's what I was going to explain about Delta-8. A lot of people want to know, is it, because it's hemp, it's cannabis, and people say, and marijuana is cannabis, but they're different. People like to call Delta-8 the little sister of marijuana because it does have THC. It's a different version of THC. So if you get tested, the chances are you're coming up positive is yes. But it's a different high. It's a different peaceful feeling, minus so it's all the good feelings that the marijuana gives you, minus the bad, which is the paranoia, which is the hazy, the parts that if you could take it out of the marijuana, you would. And it's just the medicinal benefits for actually all cannabis is amazing. So.
Yeah, that's so interesting. Because we're hearing of all of these different, cannabinoids and all different components of cannabis and difference between the cannabis plant and a hemp plant. So could you go into that a little bit, the difference? Because you mentioned Delta-8 is hemp. And I think that, and so from my kind of experience, I use both the cannabis plant and the hemp plant. So like when I will smoke anything, I always smoke out of hemp papers. I think that's a little bit better for my throat. So I've been trying to incorporate hemp more in with my, with my traditional more cannabis plant. So could you talk about the difference between between like a cannabis plant and a hemp plant?
Absolutely. So hemp is cannabis and marijuana is cannabis, but hemp is not cannabis. If that makes any sense. So hemp, the hemp plant is a high CBD, low THC plant, now legal in all 50 states, okay? And when containing less than the 0.3% of THC, it's nowhere near as the psychopathic high that you get with Delta-9, which is marijuana. So if that makes sense, the difference is it's a different THC. It's a lower grade. It's for people that, want to still be able to work and go to the gym and ride their bikes. And it's a high feeling. It's a peaceful feeling that you get, minus the, I don't want to say lazy, because people that actually smoke marijuana get offended by that, but minus the super chill that you get with marijuana. So this is my layman's term in describing it. So there's marijuana, there is Delta-8, and there's CBD. And they all are different strengths of plants. And I consider and call medicine from God, okay? And so the CBD is a much lighter version. It's great for creams and balms and bath bombs and tincture, things like that. And it's great for people that are super sensitive. Like I can still feel a little bit of highness with CBD because I'm super sensitive to it. So CBD is a much lighter version for people that they want all the medicinal purposes and they don't want to have to feel anything. Delta-8 is perfect for people that need to come home from a stressful day and want to feel relaxed without feeling that out of body, I can't control myself type of feeling. And it is, it gives you better mind clarity. it almost, I like to say it takes the strongholds off your mind. So if you had, so I'm in therapy right now because I'm a military vet, Army vet, and I had PTSD. And so I'm in therapy, and I actually tested doing it without my Delta-8 and testing it with my Delta-8 just to see the difference. And what I realized was all of that emotional pain that comes up because you're talking about the issue that happened to you, don't have that with Delta-8. And so you're able to still function, you're able to work very well, but you're all of the strongholds like the depression, the stress, the anxiety, insomnia. If you can't sleep, oh my God, you sleep like a baby. You sleep like a baby Delta-8. It is incredible. And you don't wake up groggy, like with man-made sleep aids and things like that. You wake up groggy and feeling like you're in a bubble. You don't have any of that, and you sleep like a baby. So I am just a huge advocate for Delta-8 because and I'm trying to get a lot of people that have that stigma about the cannabis plant that scared to try, doing drugs. I don't want to be high. It's not a drug. It's a plant. It's very healthy for you. And actually smoking it is great for you as well. It actually helps improve your lung capacity. And a lot of people don't know that. So my company has nana-market.com, throw it out there. We have cigars that is no tobacco. It's all Delta-8, and the paper is hemp. So it's a healthy cigar. And I was so excited about that for my boyfriend. This fellow, they like to play golf and smoke cigars. And so he's really excited about these cigars. So and I hope I explained it, the differences. Okay, let me get into the marijuana. So like I said, there's marijuana, there's Delta-8, and there's CBD. So there's the Delta-8. Marijuana, I believe, is for terminally ill people that deal with chronic pain. I know that. Marchelle is laughing at me because people have been using marijuana for the high, for the relaxed feeling. And that's, I don't judge. That's perfectly fine because it's there. But my belief is that plant is very strong for people that are just really, really sick. Marchelle will tell you about her mom as well, once I finally shut up. But that it helped because they're in so much pain. They can't eat, they don't have an appetite, or they're nauseous and they can't keep their food down. Delta-9, marijuana is perfect for that. So they all have their purposes and reasons, and they work in a lot of different ways. Okay.
I started laughing because you said marijuana for terminally ill. I was like, it's more than just terminally ill.
That's what I was thinking also. I was like, I'm not terminally ill.
No, that's what I'm saying. My belief, as far as this plant, it helps with terminally ill people. Now, the effects of it, the side effects, the high, the THC, people enjoy that as well for, just to be able to chill and relax and not be stressed out. I get it. And it's been used for that for hundreds of years. I get it. But I'm just saying medicinally, these are the strengths. And this is why I believe, marijuana is so strong the way it is, and why CBD is such a light version.
Yes. And see, I think in the medical profession, we've known about marijuana, but we couldn't speak about marijuana. Mm-hmm. It's known how marijuana can help with seizures. It's known how marijuana can help with Parkinson's.
Yeah.
And that's been known for years.
Mm-hmm.
It's been known for years. It helps with terminally ill patients, cancer patients. It's just that it's never been talked about. With my mom, she had cancer, and her cancer had returned. And we tried the oral prescribed, what was the name again? I can't think of it. It'll come to me. Marijuana pill that is supposed to help with appetite. That worked. Mm-hmm. We would do one pill twice a day. Then we got up to 2 pills twice a day. And then it just got to a point it didn't work. So we made some tincture of marijuana, and I would put like 1 or 2 drops on her whatever food or whatever, and she'd be like, "Oh, I'm hungry. What's next?" Okay. and she didn't have the high effect, but she got the hunger effect.
Mm-hmm.
And so she was able to eat when she's got this vomiting, the pill didn't work, so 1 or 2 drops and the nausea went away. And so then she was able to eat. So that I am a witness, it does work.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that's why we have Marchelle on the website as a consultant. We partnered up because I want people to, I mean, there are going to be people that's going to buy again for the fun purposes of it. But I want those people that are looking and have questions medically and have issues and they're not sure what to take or how much to take or what they should use. We have Marchelle on the website as a consultant to be able to answer those questions.
Yeah. So. Yeah, I love that. So I love that you have, a consultant and someone who can actually really kind of help people and dig into their issues that has the experience. And I love that I'm seeing more nurses get into the space. Because I just see, I see that is definitely a market that's increasing. So if someone's listening and is interested in getting into the space, it's definitely a space for you if you are someone who has that kind of experience. So don't think that, you have to stay in one lane, especially now after COVID and stuff like that, I'm hoping our nurses are feeling okay, right? We're sending them good vibes. And so what I'm hearing, so I kind of want to break down for the audience kind of what I'm hearing about Delta-8 as someone who uses all 3, right? So I use CBD, I haven't used Delta-8 yet, but I use CBD, I use THC, and then I'm waiting and I'm excited to try this Delta-8, but I'm gonna go check my mail, y'all. And if you know me, I don't check my mail at all, okay? My sister will laugh when she's editing this because you have to tell me to check my mail. I am one of those people that's
wow.
Okay.
But
anyway, so what I'm hearing is options. And so that's what I kind of want the listeners to take away from this conversation, right? It's like, we have these stigmas around cannabis and how people who use it act or how, we have all these stigmas, right? Just so many things around these different types of around the plant. But I want people to understand that, whether you want to experience that high, you have something for you. Whether you don't want to experience that high, you have something for you.
Right.
If you just want to get more of the mental impacts, what I'm hearing is from Delta-8, it sounds like there's a lot of helping with those mental barriers and those mental blocks that we kind of put up in those walls. And I love that you mentioned that you use it before you go to therapy. Because I think that those kinds of things help, right? It helps you to open up in a way that you're not feeling super anxious, you're not feeling stressed, your body's not feeling all tight. You can really just be open and sit with yourself and work through your traumas. And so that's what I kind of want people to take away from this is that whether you are a CBD lover, a THC lover, whether you're a Delta-8 lover, whether, we have Delta 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, right? Whatever we have, whatever we uncover in this magical plant, I want people to understand that you have options. And so with options, it takes, just doing a little bit of digging, right? Getting a little bit of education, listening to these podcasts, checking out the website. And by the way, the website will be linked on the show notes page. Also, all of this information that we're talking about will be linked on the show notes page if you go to maryzeal.com/36. That's where you'll find all the links to their shop and all that kind of stuff. And so one of the things I also want to talk about, because I was looking at your website and I love your website. I'm a marketing person. That's my day job. So I love your site.
Okay.
And one of the things that's prevalent on your site is that it's from a faith perspective and it's faith-based company. So I'm very curious to know how, with all the stigmas kind of that we've been talking about around cannabis, how has that conversation been for you talking to people who are a little apprehensive because of their faith? And because I have people who I come across all the time that are just like, I don't know, it's the devil's lettuce and all that kind of stuff. Like, how do you handle those kinds of conversations?
And it's funny that you asked because probably the biggest, the most conversations that I have are with religious people, and I have my cold fingers up because, like I explained to you, I'm not a religious person. I have a relationship with my creator. So it's mostly the religious people, which when I say that, I mean, they have all their laws and rules and regulations to make them feel as close to God as they think they can. So my biggest or my hardest conversations is with them. But all I do is I ended by saying, the Bible says God put everything on this earth for us, and it is good. So all of these are plants that God made. Now, my issue and the thing that I get upset about is they'll drink a glass of wine or pop a antidepressant in a minute, which is man-made products that all have side effects and aren't good for you. And in anything that you take that's man-made, and I'll keep putting my quote fingers up, nobody can see them, there are side effects. There are no side effects from these plants. So I knock the argument down really quick when they say, oh, that's the devil's work and that's just drugs and all of that. And I said, no, it's a plant. It's from God, and it is, you can't overdose on it. you just go to sleep is the most that can happen. And the other thing is you need to know what's best for you, what works best for you. That's why we have Marchelle, because, like I said, for me, I can feel a little high with the CBD because my body is so sensitive. And all of my products and packages have on the back of it, caution, everybody is different. Like I have a friend that smokes Delta-8 marijuana all day, every day. And they can drive, they can work. They actually get mind clarity. And I smoke marijuana and I'm on my face, butt in the air, and I can't do nothing. I'm out. So everybody is different and how it affects you as far as the high is concerned. And they're all different as medicinally as well, as far as what your needs are. So to answer your question, it's a plant. It came from this earth. God made it. And religious people need to get over that stigma, because that will keep you from being able to get healthier naturally by doing that.
It is so funny that you mentioned the church. Before, because it's so interesting. My mom, this was like way before she the cancer returned. She was fine. Right. And was what, so when I told her about, what the doctor said and that marijuana, this was way back when. She said, well, why don't you do the trial? I said, well, I can't do it at that time. So the years have passed, and my pain was just completely out of control. And, I don't think Vaniece knows this. I'm an ordained minister as well. So
I did.
I know. So it came up about my faith and what do I do? Faith in marijuana. It did. And the stigma that came along with it. And it was my mother that said, do marijuana. The hell with
all the
religion. Mom.
Well, right.
She did. She literally did. And that is what tilted me, because for my mom to say that, and now my mama old school Baptist, for her to say that to me, it shifted my faith and how I perceived it, because then I understood, as you go back to and you research the Bible, it's not about people. This is a herb, and God put it on the earth. Exactly. And it's so funny. One of my friend's mother had a strong issue, very strong issue with marijuana. Did not like it. There's no need for it. Got COVID.
Okay.
And she understood that there, cancer patients might use it for nausea or something like that. but she got COVID, and she was not eating. And I told my friend, I said, well, put a couple of drops of, marijuana in the smoothie, because we do a smoothie of Ensure. You put ice cream, you mix it up, and that'll help patients, eat and get their nutrition. So I said, put a couple of drops. And she just recently found out, because when she said she got to the hospital, she's like, oh, no, she was at home. And she was like, I'm getting hungry. When she said she got to the hospital, she said, I sure enough was hungry. I was going to eat them doctors like a bear. She did not know, even at home, what we had done.
Right.
And, they were so afraid. My friend was so afraid. She's going to kill me. I said, no, she ain't. Now, you want her to eat?
Good.
When you want her to eat, we trying to get her to eat. Put it in there, trust me.
Right.
And so when she got home, it was just, I want to say about a month out, maybe a month or two, maybe 3 months after she got well, she was telling us the story, and I started laughing, and, the child started laughing. We all laughing, right? And eventually they my friend told the mom, like, we actually put marijuana. She said, what? You put marijuana in there? Well, it sure do work. Because I was hungry as a bear.
Right. It works. It absolutely works.
Shifted her mindset completely about marijuana.
Stigma. And people need to look into, do the research on why it was illegal in the first place.
Yeah.
Because it was about money. It had nothing to do with the fact that let me tell you something really quick. I found out about, what dandelions are, right? They're the weeds that grow in our yard that everybody has to kill because it's just messing up my grass. It's making my grass a tear. Do you know that is the healthiest plant for the human body on the planet? It is good for your heart. Yes. Research dandelion. And this is what really blew me away is the company that makes Roundup that kills dandelion plants is the same company that makes heart medicine because it's good for your heart. It's so good for your heart. The same company that makes Roundup that kills dandelion plant is the same company that makes the #1 selling heart medicine.
Oh my.
So they're killing their competition that's natural and healthy so that they can sell this man-made heart medicine that tears up your liver and everything else that you're doing. And I was blown away. And I'm like, you guys aren't getting it. Wake up and realize the natural, God put everything on this earth for us naturally. These man-made products is what's killing us. So yeah, I had to throw that out there. But
it's called pharmacia. It calls pharmacia.
There you go.
Where the pharmacy is getting richer because we in the medical profession, we can see, well, I was a case manager in the insurance industry, and you can see what they're charging for medications, and we would say this is utterly ridiculous when it only costs about this to make it.
Right.
So it's just ridiculous. What the insurance, what these manufacturers are charging, and then it trickles down to the consumer, and then the insurance companies are paying these crazy prices for these drugs, and then it comes down to us. It comes down to our insurance costs, and that goes up because what? Pharmacia.
Right. And then what about the people that don't have insurance or can't, those heart pills are like $200 a pill. They're ridiculous when you can go right in your yard. So I went on Amazon and they have powdered dandelion root. And because I wanted to try it, I was going to go outside and get me some plants. And my boyfriend's mom said, okay, I'm going to put some dandelions on your grapes. You won't eat the wrong thing. You need to know what you're eating. But I bought it and I have it. It tastes just like coffee. And I love coffee without the caffeine. And so I have it in a warm cup. My thing is, and now people are waking up to it because celebrities are getting into the cannabis. And so, Oprah has her own line, Beyonce has her own line, and
everybody
now people are going, if they're about to, if they're doing it, maybe it is good. Maybe I should try it, which is just crazy. But if it's helping people to get more natural, I'm all for it.
And even in the medical, doctors are more aware of it.
They know. They know.
And so it's just not the oncologist's responsibility, because I'm mostly oncologists prescribe marijuana, for all those years prior to that. But then it's other fields that started to do it because they saw the medicinal effects of it. So
sorry, Stacey, we took over. Go ahead.
No, I'm sitting here I am literally just learning, right? And receiving, because I love to hear other people's perspective on the space, and because you guys are definitely experts in the space, and you're so right. I think that one of the things I think people have an idea of why cannabis was outlawed now that we're getting closer to legalization and stuff like that, but I think people didn't realize that it's racism, it's money, all of those things that it always goes back to, right? Like
taxes, all of that.
Yeah. And so if you really take a look at the science, lean on experts, talk to people who are in the space, who know what they're talking about, you start to shift perspective. And for me, the biggest thing that has shifted perspective is just sharing my story about, for me, it helps with my insomnia. Like I have insomnia. People who've listened to the podcast before know, I fell asleep driving, and that was my wake up call to really take my insomnia seriously. Right. And that's why I originally started, smoking weed, because that is after sleeping pills that only worked for 2 weeks, a week and a half, I started to feel like, okay, it's starting to, I'm building up a tolerance. And the doctor told me to build up a tolerance. And he suggested to take it for 2 weeks and then not take it for 2 weeks. And I'm just like, but that's not a solution to my problem.
Right.
That's a Band-Aid, right? It's a Band-Aid. And so I decided to...
Did your doctor even think about doing like the natural route or no?
I don't think that he even... What he prescribed me was vitamin D and I think it was Lunesta is the one that I had. Yeah. And so that's what he prescribed me. So he didn't actually talk to me about any kind of like natural things, but he took my blood and he talked to me and ran some tests and stuff like that, and then just gave me the sleeping pills and just kind of sent me on my way. And the first night I took it, I'm like, I slept so hard. I was like, oh my gosh, is this what it feels like to get sleep? Because for me, I'm like, I really don't get sleep. So maybe you're supposed to wake up feeling heavy and medicated. But then obviously I realized, no, you don't have to wake up feeling heavy and medicated. You can wake up and just feel energized. Like, who knew?
Right.
And you're not tearing up your liver. You're not dealing with the side effects from that either. So yeah.
I'm just really shocked that he didn't even give you, because the natural route, because they would, doctors first, they'll say, oh, try melatonin, this strength, that strength.
Well, I tried all those things first. Maybe that's why I didn't prescribe it, because
tell you, and then they'll go to, but then some of them will say, try CBD.
Wow.
Yeah, this one had, and it's interesting because in where I was living at the time, I was living in Las Vegas. I live in Maryland now. And so at that time, it was right before cannabis had gone recreationally legal. And so it was kind of leading up to it. And we had already, we were voting on it. So it was something that was talked about, right? So it's not like, and it was medical in Nevada and stuff like that. So, it's not like it was unheard of. It's not like I was living someplace where it's like completely like a dry state. So yeah, I agree. I don't know why that wasn't, offered to me. And because honestly, it was me going and doing my due diligence after realizing, like he said, to take it for 2 weeks and then not take it for 2 weeks. And I'm like, well, that doesn't solve my problem. So let me keep researching and let me keep figuring something out. And I happened to see someone who had like a blog, and they had like, cause I was Googling like how to get sleep. And, after cause I had already tried the melatonin and cutting caffeine and cutting sugar and the white noise and all the things, and so then I finally, at the end of the blog, I think out of like 15 things, the last one was cannabis or like CBD or something. And I was like, let me see, that's been talked about. Dispensaries are going to be open up soon. Let me, figure that out. And I had already been around cannabis a lot, because like my roommate smoked, my partner smoked. So it's not like I was foreign to it. I just didn't really feel a need to, because I just like, well, what is it going to do for me? Right. Like,
right. Right.
And literally, let alone now I realized change my life is what it was going to do. Cause now I'm energized. Now I wake up in the morning and I feel ready to go, instead of feeling tired and exhausted all the time. So so I love this conversation we've had. Like, I love that, you both of you have a perspective on how your faith kind of intertwines with the stigmas and all that kind of stuff. And I love that you're using your platform to like really call it out, right? Because I think that also helps, like, people who can invest in a company or spend their money with a company who is faith forward and faith focused and really just says like, hey, like, we believe that this plant was from God, or whatever God you believe in. This is what we believe. And if you believe that too, this is a space for us. So I love that. And I hope that the listeners definitely, take some really, I think they'll take some great nuggets away from this. But one of the things I wanted to talk about was your products. Like, tell me about some of your products and give me, both of you, I would love for you to tell us about two of your favorite products each.
Mm-hmm. Well, my purpose for the website is to try to have a nice variety, because everybody is different in how they want to receive the Delta-8 and or CBD. So I have from oils to cigars to gummies to bath bombs to, I even have dog treats for your dogs if they can't calm down and sit down somewhere. I have all types of varieties, and I have gummies specific for sleeping that are called Relax, that are just CBD. And I don't know how oh my God, you sleep so well. You just, they're amazing, and they don't have any THC in them at all. So I have a lot of different varieties. I have chocolate chip cookies. I got peanut butter cookies I'm about to put on there. I have chocolate bars. I have, I'm trying to do, I have honey. I have little honey, I don't know what they're, little honey strips that you can just, take yourself. You can cook with the honey. I'm actually about to work with Marchelle, because her and her partner, they do, they're able to extract the oils and make fresh, like, cakes and cookies and salad dressing and, oil that you can cook with. And you can, those would be made to order, because I want people to be able to have a variety, to be able to get what they need and be able to do it the way they like. I have vapes, I have blunts, I have flour, I have it all. So and I'm still adding, I'm still adding new things as I go, as I learn that they're out there. Like, I just found out that there's a company that sells, that makes hemp flour, hemp paper for the flour that I sell. So people can either roll their own, or they have cones that you can pack your flour into the cones and smoke them if you prefer to smoke, because it's good for you to smoke cannabis, because it's good for your lungs. I had a woman who has asthma, and she's like, oh no, I could never, and I said, there's a research. I said, look it up yourself, because I want people to do their own homework. But the smoking helps with asthma. It's amazing. So
I've heard that, yeah.
So as far as my products, my favorite, and it's so funny because I have to try, because I want my company to be based off of, I've tried everything, and I want to be able to say this is good, and this, if it's not, I'm getting rid of it. I don't want to sell stuff that I've never tried myself. So for me, it's like, I'm always a little scared, because now, my partner is going, ooh, Delta-10, we're gonna have to try that. I'm like, oh Lord, because I'm a punk, like, I can only handle so much. But my favorite that I like is the Relax gummies that help you sleep. They're incredible, and you don't feel any grogginess, like I said earlier, and they're just amazing. And you just pop 2 in your mouth a couple hours before you're ready to go to bed, and you will sleep like a baby. And I love that one, because I wake up energized. If I need to relax, I've had a rough day, we have a liquid, it's like a shot. It's Delta-8, and it tastes like grape popsicles that we used to have when we were kids. They taste amazing, and it's almost like having a glass of wine, but it's good for you. You drink that down, and you just chill, and you're not too chill. You can hop in your car, you can go play tennis if you want to, but your mind is relaxed from all the crap that you've dealt with throughout the day. So I have a huge variety. Marchelle, what's your favorite thing to?
I would say the owl.
The Owl's gummies. So we have a
gummies.
manufacturer that their gummies are incredible because they are the strongest that we have right now, and the quality is great. And that was actually the first time I ever tried Delta-8. I wasn't warned by the owner how strong they were, so I just popped a gummy in my mouth. And I'm gonna warn you too, Stacey. Make sure but you know, what am I saying? You're a connoisseur. It's not gonna affect you, but girl, it was strong. Oh my God!
I was gonna say I'm a pothead. I'm good, but no.
You'll be fine. I was over here, and what's so crazy about it is when you get super high with Delta-8, what it does is it gives you have ideas. Like, I'm a visionary, so whatever is kind of like your zhuzh or what you're good at, you're gonna be extra good at. So I kept getting all of these ideas. I had to start recording myself and writing things down because I was like solving world problems and coming up with visions and all types of stuff. And that's how I came up with my idea for the vending machines. I'm going to have, we're going to start having vending machines in different states, at different shopping centers, liquor stores. I'm working on Walmart, Costco, because I want people to be able to have access to this product and be able to buy it in their communities, wherever they're living. So they don't have to go far. They don't have to get a doctor's note. They can just go, it'll be an app. You'll be able to order your stuff and go pick it up. So that's the next phase of my business. I'm super excited about it.
I'm excited for that as well, because I think it's so like, it speaks to how innovative you can be in the space. And there are so many, you know, new cannabis businesses coming out, or cannabis businesses that are like marrying industries together, right? Like bringing nursing into cannabis and bringing vending machines that has been around forever, but making it more modern and having an app and having cannabis and being able to just, you know, order and go pick it up. I think that it just speaks to, you know, how much innovation and how much room there is in this space for other people. So is there any, you know, any words that you would give any business owners, particularly any other Black women looking to get into the space? Like, what advice would you have for getting into this space? Both of you, yeah.
Well, for me, we're actually, I just created an affiliate program for people that are interested and don't want to have to do all the groundwork that I did to get started. Manna is going to be nationwide, and I'm looking for partners that are interested in their state to have the same e-commerce business that can sell wholesale as well as retail of the products. But also, once the vending machines come out, that can be a part of your affiliate program as well. So you'll have your own website. I have my team that's ready to get it set up for you. You can decide which products you want to have. If you want to have everything that I have on my website, you can do the same. And if you want to be a part of the vending machines in your market, in your state, we can work on that as well. So yes, I am looking for partners. I'm looking to get this out to people that have never tried it, that love marijuana and think Delta-8 might be a punk. It is not a punk. It's a different type of high. Those are the people that I'm looking for, because I really want them to see that these products are amazing and they can definitely help.
Yeah, and as far as for the, you know, nurses to get into this space, there's different types of schooling. There's different types of certification that they can research out there where they can get certified in it. And then because I will say, do your research. Most of us nurses know the benefits of it. So then, you know, there's so many different ways that you can get into now for nurses, you know, like me and Vaniece have partnered where you can do consultations, even in palliative care. They're in oncologist offices, they're doing it there too. And in palliative care, they have nurses there. So there's so many different avenues. And I would say really do your research about it, because, you know, part of my background is home health, and in home health, you learn so many different things, and patients ask you so many different questions. And I've had patients ask me about marijuana. What are the, what do you think about this? What do you think about that? And so it's just so many different avenues. Even in the space of insurance, you have to know about it, because you'll have patients. I had a 64-year-old from Nevada, that I was, on the phone talking about this. She said, I'm going in for surgery, and I just want to let you know I got my marijuana and I'm going to take it with me. I said, no.
Yes. That's not okay.
No,
I would have needed to talk to you first, because I'd have rolled it there.
You're going to wind up in jail. I said, we're not doing that. You're going to be in jail. She said, oh, you don't want me to take? I said, no. I don't want you to take your marijuana. She said, but I don't want to take that stuff. I said, I understand, but you're going to have to just take that stuff while you're in the hospital and leave the marijuana at home. And then once you get home, you can start your marijuana back. And I said, just make sure you let the doctors know that you use marijuana for your patients. Oh, they all know. I said, okay.
Oh, she tells everybody. I love that. That's gonna be me when I'm 60. I'm gonna tell everybody.
Right. And I'm just like, but no, so you'll meet that. You will actually meet that, and you'll meet patients that say, my daughter has seizures, and I, what about marijuana. So, and those different type of things. So you will run into that. So it's really to educate yourself. In regarding to cannabis and CBD, because CBD is big too. And, you'll have patients that can't sleep, and they've tried everything. And, CBD works. So, you might have to just discuss it with them and then let them make their own decision on what they want to do. Right. So I would really say just educate.
Yeah. Yes. This has been great, y'all. I love that. I love that you have, again, both two different perspectives of the same kind of space and the same kind of in the same plant. So thanks so much for coming on and giving us all this amazing information. Can you please let us know where we can connect with you online, and how we can follow up with you if we want to get some more information?
Absolutely. manna-market.com. You're able to see all of the different products, all of the different options. And if you get on there and you get a little overwhelmed because you don't know, this is your first time, you've never had it, click on Ask the Expert, which is Marchelle. You'll be able to schedule a time to speak with her so that she can answer your questions based off of if it's for medicinal purposes and you have some questions. She is amazing for that. If you just want to ask questions about what will taste the best, or should I use an oil or the bath bomb, things like that, you can actually ask questions and send me an email from the website as well. We're here to help. It's all about making us all better and healthier and chill.
In a healthy way.
Exactly. So manna-market.com. Check us out. And thank you so much, Stacey.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. And you can reach me, as Vaniece said, and I'm looking forward to speaking and answering any questions that anybody has.
Yeah, I love that. Well, thanks so much, y'all. Thanks, Vaniece. Thanks, Marchelle. All right, y'all. This has been such a great episode of High on Self-Care. I hope that y'all took away some nuggets. I have learned so much, y'all. And y'all know that I'm always into learning as much as I can about cannabis, because again, it literally changed my life. Being able to get sleep, being able to wake up and just, kill the day instead of waking up feeling in a fog and tired is literally a game changer. So I want y'all to really take away from this episode that you have options, right? So if THC is intimidating, even if CBD is intimidating, definitely make sure you check out this Delta-8. I'm absolutely going to try it. And I have some stuff waiting for me that I'm going to go make sure I go get today. And I'm going to try it tonight for sleep and report back, and make sure y'all check out Mary Zeal's favorite things, because you might see it on there if I love it. So head over to maryzeal.com/36 to get the show notes, to get all of the websites for Marchelle and Vaniece. So if you have anything that you want to contact them about, please make sure you reach out to them, because they have such a wealth of information. So that's another episode, y'all, and I'll see y'all next week. Well, that's a wrap on another episode. Thanks so much for listening. If you got a nugget of information or inspiration from this episode, here are 5 ways you can support the podcast. You can buy me a coffee at buymeacoffee.com/high-on-self-care to send your token of appreciation. You can shop Mary Zeal's favorite things. This is a list of products that we love and have actually tried over at maryzeal.com, and some of these products contain affiliate links that give us a kickback when you shop their site at no cost to you. You can leave us a review on your podcast app of choice. If you're listening on the web, be sure to subscribe and leave us a review on the podcast app of choice. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, all the places. 4th, you can share the podcast with 3 friends that you think will benefit from all the nuggets that we drop. And lastly, you can join my email list to get episodes sent to you weekly and learn about all the fun new things we have coming up on maryzeal.com and the podcast. All the links are in the description, and I will catch you on the next episode.